So we started working on the create page yesterday. So a lot of things have to be done here in this create page, and we'll continue with doing the create page. So one thing which I want to do it here, I will ask questions later. First few things I will do, some cleanup I'll do, which you can do together with me. And then I'll give you the task because most of the things you have to do it. So this here, if you see, I'm using .then and .catch. What is another way to tackle the promise instead of .then and .catch? Does anybody remember? If I don't want to use .then and .catch, what is an async? Sonu saying is right, async. So we need to use async and await. So first change which I will do in the handle submit is we will use async, and then when I do post.save, I will do await in front of it, and then I will delete this then and catch part. Since then and catch part is deleted, we need to put everything inside the try catch block, otherwise we won't be able to see the errors. So whenever we have async and await part, we need to put everything inside the try catch block. So let me put try block, and I put the code inside it, and then after try I will put catch block, which will give me some error, and I will do console.log error is error. So first thing which you have to do in your code change is try to change it to async part and put post.save with await, and then put everything inside the try catch block. So I'll give you 1 minute to just do this change. Okay, so we have to do a lot of things in this here now. So let's try to do one by one quickly. Okay, so the first change will be I want to show this error on this page. Okay, let's say maybe before this button I want to show the error. So I'll give you the task. Let me give you the task. Task is create a state variable for errors and display that error in alert box before submit button. Okay, just do this change and give me the code in private message or in the Telegram. So you have to create a variable, state variable for errors, and display that error in the alert box before the submit button. Remember that this error variable should be separate from this variable. This is the variable for the field values. Now give the create another variable errors. Okay, and put it before this button. Let's start. Okay, so I want the answer quickly. Time up. Those who are late, they are done. Uh, Ashok and Rakesh have given me the only, you know, okay, Ashok and Rakesh give me the solution. Okay, Ole also sent me. Okay, so yeah, Ole, I don't, the solution which you gave me is not the one which I'm looking for. Kate given me, okay, Kate. So Kate, you have to put some error check, just showing the alert is not complete. Creating state variable is correct, but when you display the alert box, you need to put it there. Okay, so let me do it. So for the error part, I'll go quickly. We need to use the alert box. So let's take the alert box. I'll clear this alert box. Okay, those who are not done, they can watch what I'm trying to do. So first thing is I need to put this alert box before the button, and we need to import this alert box. So I'll import it like this. And then we need to create the state variable for the errors. So I'll say constant error set error. You can name it errors or error, whatever you like, it's fine. And initially the value will be null. So whenever the error comes, like here, we need to say set error, and we have to give error dot message. And so error is set, and we need to display this error in the alert box. And the error will be displayed here. So hope everyone is clear how we display the error. So we will also tackle some more error kind of thing on each input box. So for example, if user has not put the title, we'll display that, or if user has not put the description, we will put it there also. But that we will do after some time. Okay, so we are done with the first task, and most of you have written correctly. There is slight, some missing statement, but that is fine. At least you tried correctly. Next part is we will concentrate on this, on the role part. So remember, now this is little big task, and I will do it. You have to just watch it. But when we will do next add part or create but form, you have to do it. So just concentrate what I'm doing. So when form is submitted, I want everyone of public can view it. So tell me in the chat, what permission can I use for this one? So I have permission part. Here we are writing ACL, and we are writing the ACL.set public read access. Yeah, so Rakesh is correct. Public read access. So what we are using? Public read access equal to true. Okay, then I don't want everyone to write it, because the only one who is creator, he should be able to write it, or the admin of the website, that is myself, he should be able to edit it. So now write permission should be to the creator, okay, and the admin of the website, that is myself. So for the creator, I have written this permission ACL set write access, ACL dot write access, and the current user equal to 2. So that is the creator part. Okay, we have to work this part again. Now what I will do, I will, once this post is done, once this save is done, after that I will get the ID of the post using the syntax as post.id. If I say post.id, I will get the ID which is saved in the database. This is the unique ID. I need to create a role for this ID. So what steps I have to do now? What steps I have to do? I have to create a role for this campaign. Why I am creating this role? I will tell you in a bit. So the role will be like in this format, campaign underscore the ID which is coming from the post, that is post.id. So the name of the role will be like this, campaign underscore post.id. Then what I will do, I will assign this post right access to this role. Okay, so give right access to this role. Also there is another role which I have created manually, and the name of the role is administrator. And I will also give right access to this so that I can also edit that post, edit that campaign. So we need to give the right access to this role and to this role. These are the two roles which I have to give right access. Why I have to give this right access to this role? So because rather than putting the particular user, that this creator, I will just give the right access to this role. So tomorrow if I want to add some other people also who can edit this campaign, then I can assign that those people in this role, so they can also edit it. So not only the person who created it, but all the people who are inside this role, they should be able to edit that post. That is the task. So just remember what I am saying. I will ask you in a bit what I just told you. So let's go to the database first. This is my database. Let me refresh it. Okay, I have to start it. I think I haven't started. npm run there. Okay, till it starts. Now what I am doing, I am creating one role this, and this is already created role in the roles table. So I will give the right permission to these roles. So whoever users are in this role, they will be able to edit the post or delete the post. That is the purpose of this exercise. So if I go in role table, right now there is no row. So first row I will create it manually. So you have to go and create this manually, because this will be the administrator role. That is the super user of the website. We have to give access to this role every time. So the name of the role will be administrator. And who are the users in it? I will put the users in it in a bit. Let me first create it. Okay, ACL is required. Right now, I don't want anyone to edit this row, so I will give the public read access. Anyone can read it, but no one can write it. I will change this here in this dashboard only. I will not allow anyone to change this role. Now what I have to do, I have to add the user in this role, because that is the admin user. So let me go to users table, and this is the user. which I want to add it. So this is the user, or let me go and see which is the user. Okay, let's okay. So right now this is the user logged in. So let me give the access this to admin role. Okay, later on I will change it. So this is NK is this one. So let's take the user object ID and I will go to the role. In the users view relation, I will add existing user. Okay, so this is the user who has a administrative role. So he is the admin of the website. He can edit it. So now I'll give you 1 minute. Just create the role administrator in your database role table, and if you once it is created, you just create the users, and you can attach existing role, existing user here. So how to get your username? You can go to the application local storage current user. You can see the object ID, and you have to put this object ID in this role. Okay, so just do it in 1 minute and let me know once it's done. Okay, what needs to be added in the role user? Okay, so just create the role. So when you go to the role, you can add the role here. Add a row. Okay, so you can add the row here, and you have to put the name administrator, and just put the ACL. ACL will be only public read, and then click the add row. Once you have created row, you have to just go into the user part and attach existing row from the user, and you have to put the object ID which is here in your local storage. This object ID has to be inserted here. Is that clear? Okay, so if you are not able to do that, I will help you after this, at the end of the class, because if I ask you to show the presenter role while recording is on, sometimes the video gets corrupted. So let me help you after the class. So let's go further and we will see what to do now. Okay. So what we have to do, we have to give this role to this campaign post ID and the administrator. This administrator I have to create manually, but this part I have to create it dynamically through the code. So now we will do this part. Okay. So we will create the role. That is what the purpose of this is. So once the post is saved, now watch here, because you may not know this thing. That's why I will not ask you to do that. Now once I post it, this post variable will have the ID, which campaign ID is created. Okay, so now what I have to do, I will create one name. That will be the role name, and the role name will be campaign underscore dollar and the post dot ID. So that will be the whatever the ID is created for this post, I will create the role with that ID. So I will append it with the campaign. So the name of the role will be campaign and the ID of the post. So this is the role name. Now I will create the role. Okay, let's create the role. So to create the role, I need another ACL. So this is the ACL for this post, but we will create another ACL. I will name it as constant role ACL is equal to new parse.acl. You have to write down afterwards, and because this is the first time you are doing this thing, you have to write down and then remember it. Next time you have to do yourself. And I will give some conditions to this role. I will say role ACL. It has the read access to the public. Set public read access to true. And I don't want any other person to change the role information except the user, except the administrator. I will not even give the permission of this owner also, that is this user also, to edit this one. He can create one time, but he will not be able to edit it. Only the administrator can edit it. So for administrator, I will say role ACL dot set role access. So here we have to give the role access, role write access, because we are giving the write access to the role administrator. And here I will give the administrator because I'm giving access to administrator. So the role, whoever has the role of the administrator will be able to edit it. So I just now created one role with the name administrator. So this is the super user. I will be that super user because I put my name in the users list, and he can only edit this role post. That is what we created just now. He can edit this role name. So I have to give these two things, and then I will create a new role. Constant role equal to new pass.role. This is the way to create the role, and here I have to pass the role name. What is the role name? This is the role name. And what is the ACL for this? This is the ACL. I will explain it once again. Let me write down. Now, once we get this role, we need to add users in this role. So I will say role dot, I will take, first I will get the users. So I will say get users, and then I will add a new user. And who is the new user? New user is this one, the current user who is logged in. Okay. Then I will say await role dot save. So this will create a new role, and we are saving it. Let me explain this part again. I created role name based on the ID which I get it from here. I created new ACL for this role part. The new ACL will have public read access and write access to the role administrator. That is, the super admin can only edit this role. And then I created a new role. In this new role, I will first get all the users of the role and I will add new user to this role. Initially, get user will give null and we are adding the one first user, that is this current user who is logged in. I have to put the current user to this role because he will be the admin of this role, because this is the role, this is the campaign, he created it. So I want him to be inside this role, and so that he can edit the post or he can do many things related to that campaign. And then I will save that role. Okay, so I created the role and I added the current user in that role. That is what these things are doing it. We will see it now practically, and then you can write down this code. Let me show you practically. So this is my new campaign. So I'll put some text and I will create it. Once I will create it, you will see in the campaign, this is the row, this is the one I created it. Okay, what is the ID? GJ. Remember GJ. Now if I go to the role, a new role is created with the name of campaign GJ, the same ID which was there in the campaign, and it has the ACL of administrator can write down and anyone can read it. And who are the users inside this? Inside this is the logged in user. He is inside it. So I created role based on the campaign. So whenever a campaign is created, a role will be created for that campaign. And the owner or the owner of this campaign will be inside the users list, because anything related to this campaign can be edited by the user who is logged in. That's why I created a campaign with the name of the, I created the role with the name of campaign ID, and then I put the current logged in user in the users part. So before you ask any question or before I tell you more, just copy this part of the code. So why we are backticking here? So this is the way to concatenate a normal string with the variable. So everything which is variable will go inside dollar curly braces and end with the curly braces. Inside that we will put variable name, so that everything can come inside one single tick, right? So backtick is the new in ES6. Before that, people used to do like this campaign. They used to do like campaign underscore and then plus post.id. This is the old way to concatenate this normal string with the variable name. But in ES6, you can concatenate with in the one common place, but we have to surround with backtick, not the single quote, not the double quote. All the variable will come inside dollar curly braces and end with the curly braces. So let me go through this once. We created the role name based on the campaign and the post ID. We created some ACL for this role. ACL will be public read access and the administrator of the website as the write access. Then I create a new role with this name and I give the ACL to that new role. And I added current logged in user to this role so that all the activities related to this campaign, he should be able to write down on that activities. And I will not put any other user in this campaign so that he is the sole owner of this campaign. In addition to the administrator, though I have to put administrator also everywhere because administrator should be able to delete it or edit it. If I don't put administrator, he will not be able to do it. Sometimes this user, let's say the current logged in user is doing wrong things, putting wrong data. So admin can delete that data. That's the reason I want to give the access to admin also. So this is done. This is the role part, and go through this multiple times after this class. Walk through the video, and if you don't understand, ask me tomorrow if you have any questions for this one. Okay, so this is the role we are creating. So generally how you create the post, we create the post like this. But if we want to create a new role in this role table, there is a specific syntax for that. That is this one. We have to say new path role and we have to give the role name and the role ACL. And then we have to add the users for that role. And then we have to save the role. This will create a new record here and add the user who I have put it here in this add users part. So this is the way to create a record in the roles table. Roles table cannot be created using the normal way. We have to create role with this new method. Okay, so we are done with creating the roles. Let's go further to finish this add part. This add part is very big. It will take some time to finish it. Okay. Okay, so this role part is created. Now what I have to do, I created these two ACL for this post. Now I have to modify this ACL part little bit. Okay, so let's try to modify the ACL here. Modify the ACL for the current campaign. So what I will do, I will create one new ACL, constant new ACL is equal to new path.acl. Now new ACL will be setting the read access to public. So I'll say set public read access to true. That will be same as this one. But write access, let's see what write access I have to give. So this write access to the current user, I will make it false. I will make the current write access to current user to false. Then I will give the write access to the role administrator. Set role write access to administrator. to true. That is, admin of the website can edit it. Now new ACL dot, I will also give the role write access to this name. That is, this is the name, role name, to true. So those who are inside this role, they should be able to edit the post. And then I will set the post with this new ACL. I will say set ACL equal to new ACL. Then I will save the post. If I don't save it, it will not be saved. Now, quick question. What I created here, new ACL. What I give in the new ACL, public read access. I remove the write access of the current user to false. I give the role write access to administrator to true. I give the role write access to the role name, that is this name, to true. Now tell me why I removed this one. Can anyone give me the answer why I removed this one?
This one created the campaign who cannot edit the campaign.
But I want he can edit, he should be able to edit it. The one who created it, I want him to edit it, but I removed it. Why? Because the campaign creator should be able to edit it, but then also I removed it.
Yeah, maybe he's saying something not good, so you disable the access.
No, I disable the access, but I want him to give the access. Because I want him to.
You have given the access role name. That's
yes, yes, I gave the access to role name, and the current user is inside this role. So though he is specifically removed from the current one, but because of the role name, he will be able to edit it. Okay, he will be able to edit it. You are getting me?
Yes.
Okay. So since we are overwriting it, even if I delete this part, that will work. Okay. Now before is it working or not, I will check it on the browser whether everything is going good or there is some problem. If there is some problem, I need to edit it. Okay, let me check here. So role is created and this campaign is created with the 3-1. This is the last one. Let me check the ACL for this last one. So public has the read access, administrator has read write access, and role campaign has read write access. Okay, so this is correct. So I deleted this part. I don't need it because since we are overwriting it, so we will overwrite it what we want. So what I did here, actually I removed this user who is logged in, not here, this one. The one who is logged in, I removed it because I overwritten with the role name. Why? Because the current user is inside this role name and he can anyhow edit it because of this role name. Is that clear, this part? Is that clear? Okay. Because this role name has the current user. So though I have removed it specifically this user from write access, but I give the write access to the role, and because the user is in the role, he will be able to edit it, right? Because I don't want to specifically go to that campaign and sometime, let's say tomorrow, now he's a good person, but tomorrow he is become bad person. He does wrong thing. So I need to remove his access. To remove the access, I will not go to campaign and change the ACL. ACL will remain same. But what I will do, I will go to the role table for that campaign and I will change the ACL here. I will remove that user. Right now this user is here. I will remove this user from the ACL, from this role users. So once I remove that user, he will not be able to edit it. Okay, so just what I have to do, I have to go to the role part and I have to delete that user from this users relation table. Here I will go, I will just select this and I will delete it. Detach this row. then that user will be detached and he will not be able to edit it. Okay, if he becomes bad somehow. Right now he is a good person, so we will ask him to do it. So okay, just modify this part and then we'll go further. Write down this modification part. Okay, so this ACL part is done, right? Insertion is done. Let's do the validation for this title and description. So for the validations, I will write down the steps for the validations. So we will learn a lot of things while building this form. Okay, so it will take a couple of days more to finish this page, but we will learn a lot of things. So whenever we have another form, we will just take this page and then edit the things there. So a lot of things become easier once we finish this. For the next project or next form, it will be much easier to do the things. So first time we have to do a lot of things, and once this is done, next form which we will create, we'll copy this file into the new one, so it becomes easier. So for the validations, we need to create one schema, and then we need to pass that schema in the validate function, which is provided by validate.js. So this is the simple task. And then we have to display that error. If something validation is not there, we have to display error on page. So that is what we have to achieve it. Since you have not done, just watch it and then remember it for the next project. So for the validation purpose, I need to check the title and description here in this page. Okay, so let's create the schema for this. I'll say constant schema. It's an object, and then I will give the object. So what I have to test it? First I have to test title. So let's create one object for title, and then I have to test description. I have to create one object for description. For title, I will say presence. We are checking if it is existing or not. Presence, I create an object. Right now it's empty. Here also I'll get the presence. Now inside presence, I will say allow empty. That means empty value is allowed or not. It's saying false. No, empty values are not allowed. And what message shall we give to the user if we don't put it? I will say is required. Same thing, I will copy it for description. Okay. So that is what we will do here. Okay, and I will also import one line for the validation that is called import validate from. We already installed this while installing the React validate.js. So we already installed this package. So just we have to import it and we have to create one schema for all the fields which are required. So just put these two part and then we will see how to mix this. Okay, so if you're not done, just do it along with me. When I explain you, just do it along with it. Okay, so let's go further now. Okay, we'll do validation today and we'll done with today. So before, when I create this submit one, we need to call the validations here. So let's create the validations here and see how it is going. So let's create a variable name called as check equal to, it is checking. I have to call the validate, and here I have to pass the values of the form, that is this one. So I have to pass the values, and then I have to pass the schema. This is the schema. And after I pass validate schema, I will do console.log of check. I will return it now because I want to see what's happening. Okay, so now I will not put any of the value in both the things, and I will see what is coming in console. So here check is coming, where it is saying title is required and the description is required. So if I don't put anything, I'm getting these kind of errors in the check. Let's put this check errors in some another state variable. So this I created error for the generic error, which we get it here. I will create another one which may be called as errors, which will take the error from this validation. So I'll say errors and set errors equal to react.useState. Initially it will be null. And as soon as if I get check, I will just say set errors equal to check. And if error is there, okay, that is some error is there, I don't want to go further, I will return it. I'm putting this set error before the if statement because initially you get error, and if you fix it and if you try to submit it again, the check will be undefined and errors will be overwritten by undefined, so there will be no errors after that. So if I put inside it, then even if you correct it, it will not be corrected it. Okay, so we have to put this for everyone. And if check is there, I will just say set errors equal to check. That is, this errors will be updated with whatever error we have. Okay, and inside this check, I will also give some message to the user in the generic error form, generic error area, that please fill the required fields. Which required fields are there? That will be defined by these errors. Okay, so you will understand when I show you the demo. So let me refresh. I'll not put anything. Click save. Once I click save, though we get, okay, let's do console.log. Okay, let's do it again. So I don't put anything, I'll give save. So we are getting the generic message as please fill the required fields, which I am showing it here. And I'm also getting errors, that is title is required and description required, though I have not displayed these two things, which I will do tomorrow, but at least I got it in the variable. Now we have to display this error here and maybe here somewhere below this text box, text area. So we'll display this errors tomorrow, but at least we can get it in the state variable today. So before I finish it, just create this state variable, and in the handle submit, just put this validation. So today we are not using errors, but tomorrow we have to use that errors. Once we get errors, we need to, okay, I'll show you where we will use it. So here inside below this title, I will display that error message that title is required. Below the description, I will say description is required. So this errors is not used on the page now, but tomorrow we will add it. Tomorrow we will add this part on the page. Right now I am only using generic error. Tomorrow we have to use this individual error also. So if you are getting the error module not found validate.js, so maybe while I was installing this package, you might have missed it. So you have to go to the client folder as this one, and then you have to run npm install -- save validate.js and restart the server again after doing this. So make sure you put it in the client folder. So what error you're getting? You're not able to add the role, administrator, Ashok. Yeah. I will once I will stop the recording, I will give you the presenter role so you can share it. Okay, give me a few minutes. Yes, Rakesh, I will help you also. Okay, once I'm done with, I will give you the presenter role and then we will do it. Why we create schema? The schema is created to tell what things you need, because there are a lot of configuration in this schema. This is the one configuration that allow empty equal to false. There is another configuration, it should be email, or if it is array, it should be greater than x number of length, and that is why we need the schema to tell the validate function that this is the schema. Based on the schema, you validate it. I barely hear you. Is anyone else who cannot hear me?
Voice is very clear, sir.
Clear. No, maybe so. EJ, maybe your mic is not good. You can log out or log back in or change your microphone. Okay, some problem with his mic. So globally means what? This create has different schema. Another form will be with another schema. So you cannot create the schema globally. It has to be depend on each form. Right now this form needs two fields. So we created two fields here. Another form may have different fields. So you have to create another schema. Okay, so we are done with this create form today. Whatever we have to do, there are a lot of things to be done on this page, which we will do tomorrow and maybe day after tomorrow, because this is a one-time investment we are doing on this insert form. So we have to do it thoroughly and very nicely. Okay, next time it will be easy. It is 2-minute job. I will just tell you to build the form, and you have to take this as a reference and create the form. Okay, so first time it is little, we have to do a lot of new things, so it is taking time. And still there are a few new things I have to explain on this page, which we will do tomorrow and day after tomorrow maybe. Okay, let me add some few things on the page. So just follow it, and you do also same way. So I'll go to material UI. First thing which I will do is I will take the app bar, and in the app bar I will just go with this one for now, and I'll copy it. So I'll copy the whole file, and in the layouts folder, layout number 3, I'll create a new file. I copied app bar, but here I will give navbar.jsx, and I'll paste it here. Okay, so now I will get this app bar in the layout 3. So I'll say import navbar from navbar, and then I'll get this navbar. I'll put below CSS baseline. Though I am not doing any real functional change, but at least I am putting this navbar here in this. I will do the functional change when the time will come, not today. So now when I go to my website, so I can see this app bar. Though this logout button doesn't look good, I will move this logout to here somewhere. So what I will take this form group and put it below typography, and instead of photos I will just say campaign. So now it's saying log out. If I log out, it's saying log on. This is just a dummy thing. I'm just putting an app bar. I will change. I will do some functional change on this app bar later, that someone will click this part. I will do something. Someone will click this icon. Right now it's showing this, but I will do some different thing, which I will show you in few days. Okay, so right now just I put this app bar so that it should look little bit nice. And this one is taking a lot of space. Let me reduce this one. Before I reduce this one, you do the same thing. What you have to do, you have to go to Material UI app bar and get it app bar with menu. Just copy this whole code, put it inside layout 3 navbar, and inside the layout 3, call this navbar, put the navbar below the CSS baseline. Okay, so just do it is in 2 minutes. Let me know when you are done with integrating this app bar. This is simple. Just get the app bar from this Material UI and put it inside one file called navbar, and just call this navbar here in this layout 3 and do some changes in the navbar, because logout was outside. We need to put inside, otherwise it doesn't look good. Though we will integrate the real login logout in few days, but right now just it should be look wise, it should be little bit different. Okay, so done. Now let's do one more change. Okay, let's do one more change. I'll tell you what. 1 second. Just do it here. So I'll make this max width of Excel now. So it will increase it, and let's change it to 3. It's 3 because 3. Now children are coming in the props. I can directly call the children here and remove the props part. Okay, so this is the few changes. If you have seen it, just do it quickly along with me, and I will do little more changes. Okay, let me see what else. What else I can do is okay, let's go to the create page. Now because I increase the size, so it increased a little bit more, so it's taking a lot of space. There is only few pixels on the left side and few pixels on the right side. This taking the whole screen looks little bit not very good. I need to reduce the size of it. Okay, let's fix that one. Okay, so what size I will do, see here. Let me go to the create page. Just follow what I'm saying. In this div, I will give the, okay, I will wrap one more div around the content. So we have already one div. I will create one more div, and then I'll put the content inside it. So I'll give some style sheet to the top div. Style sheet will be, I have to display it as flex and justify content equal to center. And in the second div, I will give style equal to, we will be doing CSS a lot in after the React course. So just right now, write down what I am saying, and we will go in detail about this flex part. Right now, just understand that we did flex and justify center, so my content will go inside the center part of the screen. And I'll give the max width of 900, so it will not increase more than 900 pixels. It will be attached to 900 only. Now if I refresh the page, you will see it's taking the center space. Why it's taking center space? Because of display flex and justify content equal to center. And maximum width is 900. So maximum width is taking 900. If I try to reduce the size, it is reducing also because it's a responsive. But maximum it is going 900. Okay, that was the purpose of this one. So just do these two changes in this create.js, then we are done. So in the navbar, we got this logout container outside. It was outside this toolbar, right? Something outside. So you need to delete it, and below typography you have to put it. Okay, so that's all for today. Let me stop the recording and then I will have